What's going on YouTube? This is Rybo at the bench, and today I have another cut or carry knife review. Today looking at the Benchmade 101. So this is a fixed blade, obviously from Benchmade. You can see it comes with this cool Kydex sheath. That's very nice. Meant to be, I guess, kind of a neck knife. Could go in, on the belt as well. I think I read kind of like a tactical police backup, something, one of those things, or a neck knife, as I guess most people that this knife appeals to will use it for. But you're looking at a black coated S30V blade with the skeletonized handles there. So not much in terms of substance to the knife, because that's it. But that's what you're looking at. So let me do a quick weight check on this guy. We'll do some measurements. So we're looking at right at 2 ounces, fairly lightweight. I guess I'll do a weight check with the sheath as well. I'm not going to pull the paracord off, so you'll just have to subtract that in your head. So if we measure everything together, under 3 ounces for everything. So not heavy at all. And for that 2 ounces of knife, you are getting about 2.5 inches of sharpened blade length. And you're getting a full length of about 6 inches. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit and do the full cut or carry review. This is going to be a cut. There's the review. I don't get knives like this at all. If you came to this video because you bought this knife or want to buy it, or are a fixed blade person or a tactical like EDC type thing, no offense meant. This is just not my type of thing. Like I said, I didn't purchase this knife. I kind of happened into it and wanted to do a review. So I thought I would talk about it just to kind of say, I don't really understand the purpose of this knife for most people. I understand that it's marketed as kind of a police knife or something like that. I've seen a lot of these knives, like the SC Azula, some of those, where you have the same kind of thing. K-Bar Dozier, I think, even has something similar. But you have a lot of these kind of skeletonized fixed blades. And a lot of times they're marketed as camping knives or things like that. And I've gotten into that before. I've even made handles for different knives in the past that come as skeletonized things. You can do some cool wood scales, and I've gotten into that. I can even get into the kind of paracord wrap for something like this. However, this guy, for some reason, no, not for some reason, for exact reasons that I will name, I do not understand. I think it looks cool, and I understand that. It's got the cool black coated, thing, and it's got this, which looks cool, I guess. But this is where I get really frustrated, because to me, this is just a lot of flash with not a ton of substance. And what I mean by that is, this looks like it would be very ergonomic or serve some specific functional purpose. And I haven't done a ton of research, but I have done a little research on this knife, and I can't find anything of what that purpose is supposed to be. So I will say there's one thing here. You have this slot right here, and you have these two things here, which honestly, and this is not meant to be an insult, I thought these were bottle openers when I first saw them, because a lot of times you'll see that kind of thing. Obviously, this is, I guess, more of a serious knife than that, but I think it might have actually been more helpful for it to be a bottle opener. It's a paracord wrap, so that's where you would notch off the paracord. So you put it in there. You wrap the handle as you would on a lot of these skeletonized fixed blades. You kind of have this aggressive jimping here that helps you kind of with that ribbed kind of wrap pattern, and then you tie it off and cut it and light your paracord and tie it off here. My problem with that, well, a couple things. So number one, you have this big finger choil here with some of these kind of whatever these are. It's just not ergonomic in the slightest. I mean, that right there is probably the most ergonomic piece of the entire knife, at least from my hand. When I grab this, that does fall into place. But I don't know if you can see this. I can't get all fingers on this knife. I can get about 3 fingers. The fingers that I can get on them are spread between being perfectly suited for the finger groove here. This one, you know, if you have a finger size that fits here, you don't have a finger size that fits here. It's huge. I don't understand the purpose, but because it's so big, then you have less handle material here to grab onto, and so you're wrapping all the way around, but then you're you know, stopped back here, and then you're back to wrapping all the way around here. It's just not how the human hand works. I don't understand. I would get it if it had some practical purpose, but it doesn't. I don't know why you come in so deep right here when you could have, you know, take this choil back out and you have more of a natural handle material. I could understand like if it had a different grip this way or something, but it just doesn't. Now, I also understand that if you're doing a paracord wrap, you're going to beef up the handle a little bit, but I also have issues with that. So number one, you're going to beef it up here. You're also going to beef it up here. So yes, you may fill in this choil a little bit, but then you're just going to make this more awkward. The second issue is that if you paracord wrap this area right here, this is so much of a kind of skeletonized section. You know, I think this makes sense. This makes sense. This is so big that you're going to have these big, you know, lines of paracord that are just going to be pushed in easily. I just don't think that's great. It's somewhere that my finger naturally falls into, and I feel like I'm about to lose the grip on the knife. And I don't get it. So, you know, unfortunately, and I've said the same thing about, you know, some crickets in the past, like the M16. Oh, don't get me started on the M16. Like, this knife to me is designed to look cool. It's not really designed for practical purposes. Now, light me up in the comments, say whatever you want. If you have one, if you use one, if you love it, if you work for Benchmade, whatever, happy to hear kind of what the purpose is, like what I should be looking at that I don't see on this knife. But to me, I see something that was designed to look very tactical, but in practice, it just doesn't work. To me, this just doesn't really feel good in my hands. Honestly, if I were to say the things that I like about this knife, it's the jimping up here, which I think is very well done, and it's the S30V material and the Kydex Sheath. Honestly, I like that too. But besides that, it doesn't feel good in my hands. I don't see a practical purpose for it, and I don't get it. I think that if I were to, let's see what I have in my pocket right now. If I were to reach into my pocket, okay, this is a good example, and I were to grab what's in my pocket, which is the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog, this is going to be a more practical carry for me 9 times out of 10, and maybe 10 times out of 10. I struggle to see where you could make a case, and let's sub this out for something that maybe has a blade similar to this, where this is going to be more practical. So, you know, that's my take on it. I'm sorry if you get upset by that. Feel free, please leave a comment, because I would honestly like to hear a defense of this knife. For me, I just don't get it. It's going to be an absolute clear cut for me, and it might actually be in a sale that I'm going to do on the channel upcoming. So if you are interested in it, it may be up for sale in just a little bit. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.